Your court television news starting now.
Good afternoon and good morning to all my friends out there, and welcome to episode number 5 of the NJ Courts TV news program. I'll be your host this Monday afternoon, and my name is NJ. I was going to say NJ Courts, but you can call me NJ. I think we're all kind of homies by now. So, welcome, everybody. I'm going to give a few minutes for this notification to go out. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, we've got a pretty straightforward live stream today. We'll be giving you a court update on what supposedly has been going on with the court hearing that Controlla was attending or has already attended. That went on this morning, technically at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I've also got a court update, kind of like a breaking news update, you can say, on what's going on with Saints' current case. So I think last time we left off, I told you that it was possibly based on the notes that we had seen going to be transferred to a different court. Well, it has, and I'm going to be showing you all that information. That way I can verify the info that I'd put out on our last episode. And then we're going to finish up today's broadcast with giving you a quick update on what's going on with the Trina Golden sentencing hearing. It has been rescheduled, so I'm going to be sharing with you some information regarding the sentencing hearing. And we're going to get you the new court date, which is going to be coming up very, very soon. So, if we've got some time, I've got a few other videos I may be sharing with you and some other miscellaneous stuff that we may get to talking about. But either way, just as you saw in the thumbnail, those are the first 3 things we're going to get out of the way on today's broadcast. But first, let me say hi to everybody and also kind of get ready. I think I'm pretty much prepped. Don't mind me. I didn't have breakfast. I'm kind of having a brunch, so I'm going to finish up this toast in front of you, and I got a little bit of some chocolate milky milk. I hate to eat in front of you. I'll try to eat it if we watch a clip or something. I'm certainly not going to be crunching on toast in front of you while we're trying to break the news. But in the meantime, let's go down the list. Actually, let me get my chat up here first and get that set up. All right, and then I do got a little banner. I'm going to start the banner. You're going to see going on in the bottom scrolling, but I'm going to explain that banner at some point in the program, okay? So if you have any questions, don't worry. I'll tell you exactly what it means, especially if you're wanting to help with the donation goal. Obviously, you want to know what it's all about, so I will be explaining that. But you will be seeing that donation goal banner floating around at the bottom throughout the whole broadcast. Again, donations are not required to watch this program, but are always, always welcomed. All right. Let's get that going. Oh, shit. I may not have saved it. Oops. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is it here? Yeah, there it is. All right. We got the ticker going on down at the bottom. Let's get chat up here. All right. So starting from the top, which I think, if I wasn't mistaken, I saw a roofer in the house. So one, I want to say good morning, roofer, and welcome to one of the mods, and welcome to one of the members of the jury, and one of the OGs of the members of the jury. Followed by Juan's Casa de Puta, another member of the jury. What up, Juan? Followed by Jade, another member of the jury. Looks like we had 3 members of the jury coming in for the first, second, and third places. You guys are too funny. Then we had SC slamming their gavel. Kelly in the house. Good morning to you. We've got Squishy Socks in the house. Long time no see, Squishy Socks. Good to see you, my friend. We've got Jack Mehoff. Good afternoon, Jack Mehoff. I see you. What up? Another member of the jury in the house. And we've got King Kush. Concerned citizens need to know. I 100% absolutely agree with that statement. And is one of the main reasons why I do this. And we've got Chelsea LaRoute. Ooh, fancy. Is Saint going to jail? Well, when we get to that part of the show, we'll have a little discussion about that. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, especially once I share the latest news having to do with this case. And I think we've made it to the bottom. Not a lot of people talking today. I get it. No, there's been a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, a lot of negativity going on. But hopefully I can bring some smiles to your face today. Not like the stuff we're talking about is any more positive, but I try to make it a little bit try to break bad news with a little bit of positivity, if that kind of makes sense. Kind of an oxymoron, but I think for the most part, you guys can agree with me on that. We try to have a little fun here is what I'm trying to say, without showing you all the shit in my mouth and being rude. Excuse me. All right. I think we've given enough time for everybody to come into the chat. So let me explain my little donation goal at the bottom. And as a matter of fact, that'll kind of be a perfect segue into the first part of our news that we're going to cover this morning. Hold on. There's some of that thick artesian bread. All right, let me get a little napkin. Let me adjust this mic here. All right, so hopefully we're good. You guys let me know too, all right? If mic starts sounding bad, distorted, let me know in chat. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rolling, okay? Hopefully, I've been doing a better job at reading chat. I've positioned my camera here as close as I can to like where the chat box is. So that way, if I am reading the camera, if once I glance over to my computer, I hopefully will, what I'm going to try to do is every time I go from camera to computer, I'm going to do a quick glance at chat. So we're going to try a little system here. It may not work, it may work, but hopefully at least it'll be somewhat of an improvement on me being able to read chat and your comments, requests, and complaints. So the bottom goal, dono goal you see scrolling at the bottom reads as follows. NJ Courts road trip dono goal. In parentheses, thank you for your support. Close parentheses, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And then it says 0/500, or otherwise 0 of 500. Now, why do you want $500 from us, and where are you going? Well, that's certainly a very good question, and obviously one I would hope you'd want to know if you're going to be donating some money to me, because if I was going to donate money to somebody, I would want to know where they're going if that's what they were asking for. So, let me answer that question for you. Now, originally, we had done a poll, I think about 2 episodes back, just call it maybe a week back, couple of weeks back, not a week, at least a couple of weeks back. And in that poll, I had asked you guys, the audience, if you could choose my next IRL road trip, whether it had to be court-related or something having to do with, the California trip I had talked about, without going into too many details. And you guys had chosen, okay? And you guys had chosen for me to attend the Trina. Oh, let me give you what options I'd put out there. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping ahead. So the 2 options that I'd let you guys pick from were either A, the Golden Trina sentencing hearing, which was originally scheduled at the end of March. I think it was like March, it was between March 23rd and March 29th, one of those days in that time frame. Okay. The other option was me traveling to the West Coast, more specifically the state of California, more specifically the LA area. And that can change very well, much, as far as where I go, but let's just say the state of California. Okay. And we'll just call it LA area. All right. And I explained my reason for my trip would be, one is to kind of do a investigative documentary type of thing, which would be kind of a new type of project for me, which I would be excited about to do, which would be me pretty much following some of the West Coast streamers and pretty much give you guys a raw view of what a life in their shoes is like, okay, without them being in front of their camera, okay? Because you guys know me. I'm all about just straight rawness, okay? I bring it just as it is, all right? No scripting here. Now, the other purpose of my trip, okay, is there's also some other court-related things that I'd like to handle while I'm down there. I'd like to arrange a interview with somebody out of the district attorney's office out of, I think it was Orange County. It's the county where Blackout Andy is currently being charged with a DUI case out of. Technically, they haven't filed the case yet from the last time I checked, but through the email that was, emailed to me in response to my FOIA request for that information, I was sent over his mugshot, which we shared here, and also some of the information as far as what his arrest was about, which we had learned had to do with a DUI, okay, driving while intoxicated, or driving under the influence, excuse me. So, excuse me, being that case hasn't been filed yet, and I'm sure there's probably a time frame, I don't know what it is in the state of California, I would like to sit down with the that county's district attorney's office or a representative of the office and see what's going on with the case, okay? Third, one of the other big reasons why I want to go down to the state of California is because the headquarters for YouTube is headquartered in, I think it's near the San Francisco area, if I'm not mistaken, and I may be incorrect, so please correct me in chat. But I want to, one, take a tour as, one, a creator, and two, as a paid, pretty much worker of the YouTube workforce. I would like to get a tour of whatever's open to the public, okay, which is generally like their lobby area, which is cool, and they do give tours every once in a while. I'm not sure how that works, if you have to schedule an appointment, if you just randomly go in there, if it's open to the public from one time to another time, whatever it may be. So one, I'd like to do that for you guys, all right? But most importantly, after we get the tour out of the way, I would like to then hold a one-day protest. And again, this is going to be all done legally, okay? The point of this protest is to get our point made, okay? It's not to get kicked out and make a bunch of fucking content. I mean, there's going to be a lot of content on this trip, don't get me wrong, but you guys know my style, okay? I don't roll that way, all right? There's always a reasoning behind some of my madness, okay? So, big point is the thing that I want to bring to the attention of some of the executives in YouTube, and I don't care if it's even just a custodian that walks by, because I'm sure even then they're going to talk about it in the break room. I want them to watch live on a big TV. I'm going to have a big old flat screen smart TV out there, and you can power those easily, solar, they've got the little power banks and all that. And I'm going to be pretty much streaming all the shit fucking channels that are on live so that these people that work at YouTube can check out for themselves the very exact content that they're allowing to be streamed live on their platform that, one, breaks TOS, and two, for the most part, is almost borderline illegal, okay? There's a lot of those times what those people are doing online can fall under, harassment, defamation, slandering. You guys know. Those are just some of the things, okay? But either way, I just think that's an important thing that needs to be brought up to the attention of YouTube, is just the fact that I think they've just pretty much I think as of right now, it's like a Mad Max platform, okay? I think there's just a lot of shit that, whether A, they're not being made aware of it, or two, the system that's being implemented for them to be aware of it is not working, i.e. the flagging system. Either way, they're not able to pretty much create a safe environment, or an environment that follows the conditions they set forth in their own terms of service. And you as a business, because they are a business, they're a business that makes a lot of money, if you can't, because of maybe staffing reasons, aren't able to uphold those terms of service or ensure the safety of the people that participate in the platform, then something needs to change, okay? You either need to change the way your system works, or you need to hire more people, all right? Because the AI robots ain't cutting it. But either way, I don't want to talk your ears off of it. Just wanted to kind of give you a little explanation as to what this road trip would be about. And like I said, it's going to be something that covers a lot of different things. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff, a lot of court-related stuff. And like I said, something that would be new and dear to me would be my first, and I'm going to keep it professional, I wouldn't call it a docu-series, because we're just going to probably make it well, technically it would be like a docu-series, because I'm going to plan on trying to interview multiple streamers, not just one. And so I guess we could call it a docu-series. So it'd be my first docu-series, and the channel's for a docu-series, and I'd love to bring that to you. So that is why I'm asking for a donation goal of $500. Why 500? It's just a roundabout number that I figure covers expenses if I either A, take a plane, or B, drive, I'm sure it'll probably cost a lot more, but if it does, we'll get to that point when it does, all right? First and foremost, and you guys know how I usually work when we do these donation goals for trips, I like to cover the pretty much first expense being travel, which is either gas money, or if we're going to take a plane, the plane tickets there and back. Sometimes I've even just covered the plane ticket there and said, once I get there, I'll figure out how to get back. And thank you to you guys. You've never left me stranded. So love you guys and appreciate all your support. But yeah, if you guys would love to help this cause or donate to this donation goal, of course, all donations are appreciated but not required, all right? So that is why you see the donation goal scrolling at the bottom. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram, through the channel's email, or leave a comment on today's broadcast after, okay? All right, so where's that segue into? Well, here's what happened, okay? The reason why I'm canceling the Trina road trip, and it's not because I wanted to, It's because it got rescheduled, okay? And let me just put it this way. The reason why I even said let's do California is because that was the alternative. That was the second option I'd put out there, and it was actually pretty close. It was like 50 to 48%, okay? And I think about 80 people had voted. So I think a lot of people would like to see that. Obviously, more people wanted me to cover the sentencing hearing, but it has been rescheduled. So let's segue into the Trina court coverage update. Let me just get her case up here so that we can look at it together. More importantly, we're going to look at the new date that has been set for her sentencing hearing. So don't forget, she has already been found guilty by a jury, okay? And she is now waiting to be sentenced, all right? So she is facing some jail time. She's already been in prison, I think, probably about over a total of 1 year, off and on, because if you remember, she had been bonded out twice. But last time she was brought back in jail was because she had either, I can't remember, she had either violated one of the conditions of her release or it was a probation violation, all right? So either way, although she's already spent some time in jail, based on the 3 charges she was found guilty on, the most serious one being a felony charge of distribution of drugs causing a death, I'm sure she's going to be facing some jail time. I think last time we had checked the possible jail time sentence, and we had seen somewhere between, I think it was like on the low side 10 and on the high side 15, with obviously credit time counted, obviously with her time that she's put in already apply towards that time, okay, served or whatever. You guys catch the drift. But either way, her hearing has been rescheduled, so I'm going to share that information and that new date for you. Also, it appears that I may have this completely wrong. We're just going to have to wait for her sentencing date. But it appears that they're going to be taking care of 2 other cases that I believe she violated probation on. So one of them was dated from 2020. The other one was from 2015. And if I got it wrong, I'll double check here in a second. But either way, in both those cases, even though she had been sentenced, it's my understanding that she didn't follow the terms of her probation and therefore was found to be a violation of her probation. So basically, if it's my understanding how I read everything correctly, this date that's coming up very soon for a sentencing hearing, she's going to be facing the sentencing for this most recent case and the other 2 cases which she had, in my understanding, violated probation on. So it's not looking good for her, is basically what I'm trying to say. This might actually be one of the first individuals we've covered out of the many that we've covered that have gotten arrested, gone through the court system, have been sentenced, that actually have been sentenced to a jail term versus probation, or in some cases, actually I take that back. Jimmy the Christian's pretty much serving multiple life sentences. So she'll be the second individual that gets sentenced to jail, assuming she's sentenced to jail time, that we've covered. But generally, a lot of the individuals that we cover get probation, or they'll just count the few days they've already been in jail as time served. So, meaning they get released that day that they see the judge. So, let's go check out the new date for Trina's hearing. And then we're going to move on to the Controlla court case update, because I'm sure a lot of you are here just for that. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I don't have much yet. I'm just going to share with you what's been shared with me through some of the comments that were left on a post that I left on my community page this morning, letting everybody know that she had her hearing scheduled at 9 a.m. Eastern time today. And you guys let me know if you know anything else in chat. But we're still going to have a little bit of a discussion. I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think's going on. And then we'll finish up today's broadcast. I didn't want to do anything too long. I know generally our last 4 broadcasts have been anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours, but we're going to probably keep it under an hour today. So we'll wrap up today's broadcast with the Saint update. That's very interesting, so stay tuned for that. So let's go to Trina's new court date so I can share that with you guys. It's literally coming up in a few days. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the 10th, February the 10th. And originally, like I said, it was scheduled for March 29th, or end of March. So we had plenty of time to, put a donation goal, fundraise for the trip, and figure out how we're going to get there. which I was planning on taking a plane, and that's why I wanted to start the fundraiser early because, you guys know how it goes. The sooner you get your tickets, the cheaper they are. But that's obviously changed. So let's get her case up here. Now, for some of you that may have had trouble pulling up her case on their own, that's because it's changed pretty much websites that you can access it through. So now how you'll be able to access her case is through the Kansas District Court Public Access Portal. So if you pretty much just Google search Kansas District Court Public Access Portal, you should see the link. The other thing, too, is when it used to just be pretty much, which is still publicly accessible, it's just before you didn't have to have register an account. Now you do have to make an account if you already don't have one, and then you'll be able to access this information. So for some of you that have been having issues with the old website, which generally they should still have the link that redirects you to the new website, but just assume that's not on there, because I had a few people that reached out that said that they were having trouble finding your info. Just Google search, like I said, Kansas District Court Public Access Portal, and then follow the instructions from there on registering an account for you. And then it's just a simple search like you did last time. But assuming you got an account and you were able to access her information, you should see this. I might have to actually sign in again. Let's see. Yeah, I think I will. Give me 1 second. Sometimes it boots you if you take too long. Oh, no, here it is. Oh, yeah, it booted me. Give me 1 second. And actually, I've been doing horrible at reading chat so far. So if you guys been trying to holler at me, give me a second, and I'll check out what you guys have to say here. I'm sure people are screaming at me about what's going on with Controlla. I don't know if she went live. I know she goes on another account live, and she's got like an Instagram account I think she goes live on, but I hadn't been following it, so I was just waiting for the update on the court website, and we'll see if it's been updated. But there were some individuals that did reach out to me. Whether it's what they're saying is true, I don't know yet, and I'll see what you guys have to say, but I would believe it for the most part. It's pretty much what I thought was going to happen as far as an outcome with the case. But again, I can't verify any of that yet. Maybe. You guys know, remember the first time we were covering her case, literally the very first day, we didn't have the charges up yet because the website hadn't even been updated or created yet with her info. And then literally like halfway through the broadcast, it got updated. So you never know. If it's not updated yet, maybe by the end of today's broadcast, it might be. But either way, we're going to get to that as soon as I get you the new date for Trina Golden's sentencing hearing. Let me just get that pulled up here. And I apologize. I did have this ready to go. If you believe me, it's just, like I said, it kicks you out if you don't have any active activity on the account for a few minutes. So let me share this with you here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Excellent. Actually, let me put my phone right here so I can read chat easier. I keep forgetting I have a phone that I can read chat on. Oh, and I did. I missed Roofer. Holy schmoly, Roofer. Okay, hold on. Before we get started with Trina's update, I got to do a quick shout out here. Roofer, okay, one of my top mods, quadruple OG as of today. Or actually, you already quadruple, so what's after quadruple? I don't even know. You'll have to help me that on Roofer. But Roofer, either way, is celebrating a 21-month, yes, you heard that right, a 21-month, 3 months short of 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, anniversary as a member of the jury. Roofer, OG, my friend. And you know what? Let me get my gavel slam. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them mother effing gavels for me, please. And I'm sorry I'm yelling. But Roofer, this gavel slam goes out to you, my friend. And I appreciate all your continued support, my friend, and I appreciate everything you've done as a mod, being here all the time, being a true OG, and a member of the jury. All right, so let's continue. Actually, hold on. Let me move this out of here. Okay, now we can continue. All right. So you see these are her current, well, were old cases with one of her active cases is what you're looking at. And like I said, her past 2 cases are now pretty much been reopened because of the fact that it appears that they're going to be sentencing her for some probation violations from those last 2 cases. But it's not very important, right? Well, it is important, but it isn't, because the case that we started as far as coverage on her was because of the most recent case, which has to do with the 3 charges. She was found guilty on all 3 by a jury, by, members of her own peer, So there's no questions, ifs, ands, or buts, all right? This had nothing to do with a judge's decision. This was literally, 12 members of public members, okay, that said, based on the evidence that both sides presented, that she was guilty. As a matter of fact, guilty of all 3 charges. So she's now waiting sentencing for those 3 charges, the most important one being, or the most serious one being, the felony charge of distribution of drugs with resulting in a death, okay? Sadly, a young lady, I think she was about 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken, lost her life as a result of an overdose from this incident. So Trina Golden is now facing a sentencing hearing for those 3 charges, and then, like I said, in addition to facing whatever they're going to do having to do with the fact that it appears she's violated her probation on the last 2 cases that she was sentenced on. So let's just click on the most recent case. Again, the one that we started coverage on, I think it's already been 2 years now. Let's see, it was filed in 2022. Yep, end of 2022. And if we go down here to case events, or actually, let's go to hearings first. Oh, I haven't shared it yet. Let me share this tab with you. I apologize. You guys are like, what the fuck, dude? We can't see. All right, so now you can see. So, Erin, she's looking at some serious time. I think when we had looked at it a few episodes back, or it might not even been this year, it was like last year when we had done a really big coverage on her case. I think we had, and we did, it's not I think, but I believe it had set, we had looked at approximately like anywhere from 10 to 15 years is what she's facing. And again, she does have a pretty extensive record already in the state of Kansas, in addition to some other states as well. Don't forget, they had to extradite her from the state of California just to be able to charge her with this last case. So, her sentencing date has been rescheduled from, let me get to the bottom here. Originally was scheduled for March 28th at 9 a.m., and it has been rescheduled for February 10th at 1 p.m., but I think that it's been bumped to 3 p.m. I'm going to have to verify that today, but let's just, at the very least, we know it's going to be here in a few days on February the 10th, which I believe will be next Monday. So, had this been on March 28th like it was originally scheduled for, and assuming I would have been given permission to be in the courtroom to record, I would have been able to bring you the sentencing most likely to you live. But unfortunately, with it being on February 10th, that's not going to give us even near enough days to fundraise. And of course, although I've already sent the request for permission to record, even if I was approved, it's just not going to happen. I wish, if I had the funds and was able to just jump on a plane randomly and pay, Lord knows how much a last-minute ticket would be, hey, I'd be all over it. But unfortunately, that's not how we work. And it's not fair for me to also put that stress on you guys, the viewers, to try to, bum rush you for $500, in the next couple of days, which honestly, I doubt even a plane ticket, just being that it's going to be next Monday, would be less than $500. So that's why we're looking at the option of going to California, which again was the second option you guys had voted for and almost had beaten over the sentencing option. Like I said, it was very close. It was like 48 to 50% ratio. So her sentencing hearing, again, been rescheduled for February 10th, either 1 or 3 p.m. And again, in addition to the sentencing, she's also going to be facing pretty much getting reprimanded for her and I say possibly because I still have to go back and verify it, but I'm like 99% sure that it has to do with probation violations that had to do with her last 2 cases that she had already been sentenced for in the state of Kansas, and obviously was sentenced with probation, didn't meet the conditions or broke the conditions of her probation, obviously was on the run in California at the time, so they couldn't do anything to her until they had extradited her. I think it was around, 2022 when they started filing this case, and I can't be for sure, but it's already been, some years. Brought her over to Olathe, Kansas. Olathe, excuse me, not Olathe, Olathe. And now she's possibly going to be facing, anywhere between 10 to 15 years in the state of Kansas. So definitely. And then again, don't forget, she might even be facing more years because of the probation violation. So we'll find out here next Monday. Monday will be D-Day for sure. So that's all I had as far as the Trina court update. Let's segue into who do we want to talk about next? Who are we going to leave for last? Oh, yeah, we're going to leave Saint for last. I forgot. Let's just go into Controlla's court hearing. So, as I said earlier in the broadcast today, she had her hearing scheduled this morning for 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It is currently 1:32 p.m. in the state of New York, more specifically in the city of Staten Island, or borough of Staten Island, which is a borough of the city of New York City, and which is where she had her hearing, which is out of Richmond Criminal Court. It's Richmond County is the county for Staten Island. But either way, she had her hearing this morning, so let's check the website. But let me get chat up here because, like I said, let me see if the website's been updated. But if it hasn't, I'll share with you guys what was shared with me, and I'm going to see what you guys have to say. So, Super Roofer, I thought it's not Roofer. Carmen San Diego says, is Marty really dead? Are you referring to... what's his, I can't remember his exact name or what his YouTube handle, but I think I know who you're talking about. The guy that covers the, what's that weirdo? Oh man, we even covered him for a bit when he got in some trouble. I forgot his name, but I'm not sure if that's who you're speaking about. But, let's jump over here to the Controlla court case. Let me get that pulled up here. Let's have a little discussion here. Cyrex, thank you. Thank you. There you go. All right, so let me start from here, just so we have a good, clean, refresh paged. All right. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to share the tab that I have here that I'm looking at. Sorry. Oops. All right. So let me get it up here for you. Make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. You sure can. All right, so let's click on here and see if anything's been updated. So word on the streets had been that she was going to be offered a plea deal, but somebody had mentioned that it was pretty much the plea deal included some jail time, or she has to go through a jury trial, which means, she sticks with the not guilty plea. Then somebody reached out to me that said her trial or case had concluded for today, and I'm assuming they must have heard this from her mouth, but that apparently she did take a plea deal and she was sentenced to 2 years of probation, all right? And don't forget, she's currently serving or about to finish up a 1-year probation sentence that she was given from the trouble she got from the accident that she was involved in or caused and sentenced on back having to do it out of New Jersey. Remember all that shenanigans back in March of last year? So, technically, that would be like pretty much 2 probation offices she would be reporting to, and assuming that she was given probation today. I can't verify that, all right? So if you guys know, if some of you guys were able to catch that news, by all means, let me know in chat. But let's see if it says anything here. Nope. Nothing's been updated yet. So if you see at the bottom, it just has the info for a hearing date today. Well, Grunge Truck, I'm not sure. I'm still waiting on my request. I did a FOIA request for pretty much, I'm not going to share the request right now until I either get a reply back that they're not going to send me my information or I get the information. But pretty much I had requested certain things having to do with their probation case, certain documents that if they do approve to share that information with me, will hopefully explain what's going on with her probation. If she's been violated, or if anything was even reported, which, let's just put it this way. Let's just play devil's advocate and assume nothing was reported to them. You betcha that they're going to have something. I would imagine, you know, I've been shocked, okay? I've been shocked covering a lot of these individuals, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go down this way. But I would imagine that if she did take a plea deal and was sentenced to probation, being that she had to plead guilty for that plea deal, and even if it was a no contest plea deal, that would still be reported and count as a violation of her probation. I would assume, okay? But again, I'm not a lawyer, right? So, what I can say is this, though, is she did obviously plead. You can see it there as far as the disposition from her very first hearing or arraignment, that she did plead not guilty to all three charges. So kind of like, you know, what she said originally when she was facing her charges in New Jersey, that she was going to go all the way to a jury trial not guilty. Well, remember, she took a plea deal there, all right? She takes a plea deal here. Don't forget. Now, she might not care, right? But for most of us that are out, you know, good citizens or good members of our community, you know, we would still, even though it's probation and we're not going to jail, which is great, most of us would still be embarrassed for the fact that, one, we're on a probation and we got to obviously make sure we don't get in any type of trouble, which for somebody like Controlla, based on, you know, her last previous years, would be something I would find very difficult for her to stay out of trouble, okay? So I would almost think that this 2-year probation sentence, if it's true, is almost like a curse, if you really think about it. Second of all, and I can't guarantee this because those weren't drug-related charges, but I don't know how it works in the state of New York, but they could always put her on a probation that includes drug testing, which we very well know that could hinder something because of, you know, the type of things she ingests, okay? We'll just leave it at that. Also, most of us, because, you know, times are hard now, okay? Prices, you know what the prices of eggs are. You've seen them, all right? Most of us probably aren't going to be too happy to have to pay a couple $100 in court fees, fines, and also because a lot of you guys work, right? You're also not going to be too happy with the fact that you've already had to spend a lot of hours of your time, okay, valuable time, which if you had to take time off of work is not only valuable time, but is time that costs money that you didn't get to handle this shit. And again, this all had to do because the internet or somebody from the internet drove by her home allegedly and shouted out a few obscenities. So you decide who you think at the end of the day the winner and the loser is, all right? I'm not going to give you my opinion. I think you guys already know what it is, but like I said, it's funny to see these people that have these extensive criminal history records that we've covered that like literally consider having probation a win over not going to jail, when I'm like, how in the hell is that even considered a win, man? You're still sentenced. You still have that charge on your record, which, you know, if you already got felonies, you probably don't give a shit. And you got to pay a couple of $100, man. Who wants to waste $200-$300 on bullshit that they could have spent that on themselves or their family, I would hope. So, either way, what do you guys have to say? Did we verify that for sure she came on? And here, I only want to hear if she went on, okay, live and said what happened. And even then, I won't believe her, okay? I'm only going to believe what comes on the website, but I'm curious to see. Did she come on live and share some information already? Is that where this info came from, or is this just somebody that was assuming? And while I'm waiting, being that it is the start of February, and being that there's 170 of you here, I think I should be, unless they've changed something this year, I think I should be able to give away some memberships. Who wants some memberships? And thank you to all my current members for all your support and going into the new year, which is going to be our 3rd year here at the NJ Courts TV channel. And I think the way I do this is I got to go here. I'm going to go here. They don't let me gift. No way. Don't tell me YouTube got cheap on me. Here, let me see. I think I got to do it through the computer. Let me see. Gotta go to my channel. All right, let's see if I can do it through here. What up, New York Dad? Being that we're discussing a case that you're obviously part of, if you want to come up, because I've always, and I don't know if you've checked out my program before, but I always offer anybody when we're covering these cases, anybody that has to do with the case, an opportunity, if they so choose to, come up and speak on their behalf if they like. So if you want to speak on what happened today or what's going on with the case, you're more than welcome to jump up on panel. The only thing I do ask is that in the backstage that I just see, at least verify that it's you. And then as soon as I verify or bring you up on stage, you don't have to remain on video. If you just want to go to your black screen mode is what I call it, I'm perfectly fine with that. But for some of you that don't know, the New York Dad, that's his YouTube name, but he's the individual that pretty much is the alleged victim in this case. So I would definitely like to hear from that individual if they'd like to speak. Yeah, me too, Shoni. I if we get this dono goal fundraise, and we head out to California, I can guarantee you it is going to be an awesome trip. I think, you know, and again, a lot of people may not agree with me. I know we got some haters in chat, but I think for the most part, most of the trips that I've done and have fundraised for, I have done everything I've said I was going to do and more. So I can assure you that if we end up going to California, and I haven't, you guys got to remember, NJ Courts TV has not been to the West Coast, all right? So we're going to do it big, okay? If we go, that's for sure. I respect that. I just would like to stay quiet. I respect that as well. As a matter of fact, I'm not an attorney, but if I was an attorney, I would have advised you not to come up and speak. So, all right. So as you guys, like I said, can see, the website hasn't been updated, but you betcha as soon as it gets updated, I'll drop another community post. They don't call it community. So for some of you that haven't noticed, it's not called the community tab anymore. It's called posts. So if it's my understanding, I think they have it in test mode now. I don't know if I got selected as one of the testers, but they're going to pretty much they're trying to make the what was the community tab, which is now known as the post tab, in addition to the creators being able to post, they're going to try to make it more like, I think, kind of like an Instagram type of platform where like you can do like kind of direct messages to the creator. Pretty much they want to open up the fields of communication between viewers and the creator and make it a better experience that way. So I'm all for it. I think that's really cool. But just in case you don't see community anymore, that's because it's been changed to posts. Still looks the same as of now, but I will definitely drop a post once I get an update on this website. I don't feel like I would need to have to do a whole nother live stream, but we'll definitely keep you updated on the community post tab. All right. We're going to go to Saint right now. Don't worry, Nervy. All right. I just want to see if I had anything else to talk about Control. I feel like I did, but I think we pretty much got everything we need to out of the way because, like I said, obviously hasn't been updated. Oh, we're just assuming based on. I was asking if you guys knew anything about whether that was whether it was true that she had received 2 years of probation or not. New York Dad says, NJ Courts, all I can say is that my OP has been extended to 2 years. All right. Well, enough said. For some of you that probably still don't understand, I can't be 100% correct yet, or you get what I'm trying to say, because it hasn't been updated on the court website, in which you guys know how I work. I only go based on receipts that you guys can publicly access, i.e. public records. But I'm probably going to say, based on the comments that I received earlier and based on the comment that was made just right now, that most likely it appears that she probably did get 2 years of probation. For some of you that don't know what OP stands for, that's Order of Protection. Same thing as an RO, restraining order. Same thing as a PO, protective order. So, for right now, I think that concludes my update on Controlla. Again, still waiting to see if I get some information from the request I put through from the probation office in New Jersey that's responsible for her probation, her case. And again, once we get verification on the website, I'll share you a screenshot of the website as to the result or the disposition, if it ended today, as to what concluded or happened with Controlla's case that she had this morning. And again, I apologize that I'm eating in front of you guys, but if I didn't have breakfast and if I didn't start eating a little bit of lunch, I'd pass out right now. Italian Guy TV says, 2 years probation, OP 2 years, all switched to New York, pled guilty on all 4 charges. That's what I'm talking about, right? So again, we're just going to assume, all right? We're just assuming. Assumption with 99.9% of confirmation. But let's just do this. Watch, let's go here. And then we're going to jump over to the Saint update, and then that's going to be it for today. I don't want to take up any more of your precious time. I know it's Monday. I know a lot of you are working. Just kidding. I know you guys, a lot of you do. All right. Let's go here. Can you guys see what I'm looking at? So let's just assume what we're reading in chat is correct. So she had to plead, as part of her plea deal, she had to plead guilty to the 4 charges, and she got probation. Now, like I was saying earlier, how would you feel if you now had on your record a record now that shows you had to plead guilty to, and I'm going to just read these out in case you forgot what charges she was facing. 1 count of menacing in the 3rd degree. Now, keep in mind, these are all misdemeanors, but like I said, for somebody like me, for example, okay, I would be embarrassed to have these 4 misdemeanors on my record. Completely embarrassed, all right? But again, everybody's different. I'm just speaking on my opinion, myself. But either way, assuming that what we heard is correct, she would have then technically pled guilty to 1 count of menacing in the 3rd misdemeanor, 1 misdemeanor count of criminal possession of a weapon in the 4th with intent to use, a 3rd charge of unlawful possession of noxious matter, and a 4th charge of harassment in the 2nd with physical contact. And then, like I said, not to mention the fact that you got to stay out of trouble for 2 years, which, hey, that might be easy for a lot of you guys. But for somebody that's already literally gotten in trouble last year and already started off this year with the sentencing, I find it's going to be a little difficult for them to stay out of trouble. And hopefully they do, for their sake and their family's sake. All right? But again, I base everything on facts. I base things on patterns. And if you've been studying this individual's pattern, as far as their arrest record and the way that they behave online, and exactly what's led to the last, you guys realize, let's just put it this way, okay, for some of you that forgot, because I know she likes to tell the stories a little bit differently, right? You guys realize that pretty much now, let's assume she was sentenced on those 4 charges, that this individual is literally the last 2 times that she's had to go through the court system and been sentenced, found guilty and sentenced on, had to do with charges she picked up because of her channel, because of the internet. Remember the first time when she was driving, she was live streaming, she got allegedly distracted and is what caused the accident? She caught 2 charges on that. Pretty serious if you ask me. One having to do with her injuring her own fucking child, okay? She's going to spin it a different way, remember? It's just the DP. It's just the DP. All right? And then caught another 4 charges she had to plead guilty on because allegedly somebody from the internet went by allegedly and screamed a few obscenities out the window. And she didn't know how to be an adult and react to that. Instead of ignoring it, now you got this, right? But of course, she's going to spin it as, oh, I don't give a shit. I didn't go to jail, haters. No jail today. Yeah, well, again, like I said, for the most of us, people that are, good citizens, want to become productive members of the community, that's not a win, okay? That's horrible. To be honest with you, if I was her, I would have rather just gone to jail for a week, gotten that shit over with, than have to be on probation for 2 years. Because somebody like her, you guys realize when you're on probation and you get in trouble, it's almost, there ain't no that anymore. You've already given that up when you go to probation, okay? So just, like I said, just picture now somebody like Controlla having to pretty much be a straight arrow for the next 2 years. When literally, I don't care when her last felony charge was that she caught, which in my opinion wasn't that long ago. Literally, within the last 2 years, 2024 and 2025, has been sentenced to charges that she was facing in the court system. Just my 2 cents. All right, so let's roll into the Saint coverage. So I know a lot of you are here for that. Let me jump over to chat here so I can check in with you guys. NJ Court, she showed receipts, charges were dropped. Hold on. Because you're a liar. She showed paperwork today. Well, like I said, I'm going to wait for what the website says. So I'm not stating any of this. I'm just saying if it did, if that's the way it went down, then that's how it's going to go down, okay? I'll be posting it today. Don't worry. Well, I'll be looking it out. Don't bother mentioning me because I don't even check that shit. I'm sure somebody will just post it to me. But like I said, I wait for receipts because this isn't my first rodeo, ladies and gentlemen. You don't think people have reached out to me to try to have me do their own personal bullshit for them, okay? Or this or that, or people, here's the new thing a lot of these haters like to do to me now. They try to contact me on a fake account and try to put fake news because they're hoping that I'm not going to check the verify anything, right? So what they're hoping I do is I go and put out this breaking news. This happened, right? So that they can go back and then say that it never happened and try to embarrass me and make me look like I'm this and that and all this and all this. Again, not my first rodeo with you little dipshits, okay? So, not calling you guys in chat, but you guys know who you are. But what I'm saying is my update, the NJ Courts TV official update, regardless of what the other people are saying on the internet, won't be until this website's been updated and I can screenshot it and post it for you. All right? And that's it. Thank you, Roofer. It's easy peasy, man. You guys, and I'm not even talking to most of you here because most of you have been following me for a long time now. You know how we roll here, all right? And like I said, and here's the other thing, too. Regardless of what these people say that I cover, I don't give a shit what they do, okay? Like, as a human being, I do in a way that I care for other human beings, and it saddens me to see people waste their one life like that. But as far as like these other channels, and I don't even call them channels, okay? They're just shit shows, okay? These people that use their YouTube platform as just a way to slander and be mean and, just go at it with each other, okay? I don't do that shit, all right? So I could give a fuck less if Controlla's got probation for 2 years, if she gets sentenced to jail, if they dismissed all 4 cases. Yeah, I do have my personal opinion and I give it. But as soon as this show's done, I have a whole other life to worry about, okay? Including mine and my 2, grown adult parents, my 2 dogs, rest of my family and friends that I take care of, and everything else that happens when you have a normal life, okay? Outside of just sitting here in front of your computer all day and all night. So, again, although some of you might sit here and think otherwise, I'm telling you, I really don't care. So, that's why I just wait for the update on the website. I don't care to, have to be the first to go live with some fake news, this or that. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, my most important news this afternoon was just the fact that the sentencing hearing changed because we were, planning on attending that hearing and bringing it to you live. And the Saint information, which I'm about to go over now, because that got kind of serious. So let's go over to the Saints. That's enough on Controlla. I think you guys catch my drift. And like I said, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to offend any of the viewers. I love you guys. You guys know that. But again, I just want you to understand where I come from when, like I said, I make these, decisions or opinions. Nothing is official until I've said it is. And as of right now, I've already said it when I started this news on her. It is not until that website is updated. End of story on my end. If you guys want to talk about it all day long on the chat, more power to you. You're more than welcome to. I'm not going to kick you and ban you or block you for that. Oh, and as a matter of fact, I think we got another individual that just celebrated an anniversary today. Sure did. I see you in the house. You guys know what to do in the chat. Spam them gavels if you got them, please. I see you celebrating a 14-month anniversary as a member of the jury. I see you're definitely a double OG, my friend. This gavel slam goes out to you. All right, so let's wrap up this show with the Saint update. We're moving on, Jade. We're moving on. All right, so let me refer you. We're going to refer to another court website here for Saints update. Again, that's how we do it here. All receipts, baby. All right, so again, last time we left off with Saint, it appeared that they had pretty much changed over his case to Superior Court, which the reason they do that in his state is because the court that he was at previously that was handling, I believe, the 4 charges he's currently facing, and I'll go over all that here in a second, because one of them is a felony, and they don't handle felony cases, and it's a pretty serious felony, they have to move that up, pretty much bump it up to a different court that handles those type of cases, which in this case, in the state of Maryland, is the Maryland Superior Court. So, I had a lot of people that were reaching out to me because based on the information that, people were looking at on the website, it had confused some people. It almost had made it seem like they had dismissed the case and that was end of story, And again, I'm not even alleging that he hadn't said anything about that. As a matter of fact, I don't even know, and I think I am subscribed to him. I can't remember, but I don't even think Saint's been live since the last time he was on, which has been a while, okay? But either way, it does, I can verify for sure, and I'm going to switch over to this website here so that way you guys can see what I'm looking at. So just give me a second. That his case has been bumped over to Superior Court. At the time I was breaking that news, I think last week, I was 99.9% sure it had, but still didn't want to verify till I had all the information. Well, now I can officially verify that it has. And nothing's changed as far as the 4 charges. He's still facing the same 4 charges. Let's jump over to Saints info here. Give me 1 second. I already had it up. So, yep, here it is. Make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. Excellent. So, just a quick reminder. Saint is facing currently 4 new charges having to do with his arrest. Again, this was, December the 22nd, just a couple of days before Christmas. I think it was either 22nd or 23rd. Let me go up here at the top. Let's not guess, right? We want to put all correct information. So, let's see. No, he was arrested on the 22nd, bonded out the next day on the 23rd. So, well, his girlfriend bonded him out, according to the paperwork. But he is currently facing 4 charges. The felony charge is going to be a felony charge of assault in the first degree. He's got a misdemeanor charge in assault in the second degree. He's facing another misdemeanor charge in reckless endangerment. And he's got a fourth misdemeanor in resisting/interfering with arrest. All right. Pretty serious charges. Even the misdemeanors are on the serious end, okay? But because of the felony, they had to move his case to Superior Court. So, or Circuit Court, excuse me. Circuit Court, not Superior. So scratch what I was saying on Superior. It moved to Circuit Court. And this is, although it's Maryland, it's out of where he's gotten in trouble is Washington County. So technically it's the Circuit Court for Washington County, the criminal Circuit Court for Washington County. All right? Otherwise known as Washington Circuit Court. So he's got his next hearing, because remember on our last update, we didn't know when his next hearing was. It pretty much just said that the case had been pretty much transferred over, but it almost looked like it was dismissed. We weren't sure. I had said that I think it had been transferred over. We know now for sure it had been transferred over. And there is now a update as far as when his next hearing is. So for those of you who got your pen, pencil, and paper out, you may want to write this down. His next hearing will be February the 27th at 9:30 a.m. That should be Eastern Time. Courtroom number 1 out of Washington County Circuit Court. Again, because they've had to transfer this to a higher court, this appearance is pretty much going to be treated as like a first or an initial appearance. So they're pretty much probably going to have to ask him what he's going to plead to the charges, and then they're going to go from there. So come February the 27th, I should have an update for you guys. Now, something to also keep in mind, because remember, we had been told, and again, this is just all allegedly, that the reason he had gotten arrested this last time was because the neighbors had heard the argument or fighting going on and were the ones that called. Had nothing to do with the girlfriend or even himself calling on himself, okay? And pretty much there was alleged that when the cops got there, she had denied everything and said that everything was okay and she didn't want to press charges against him. They still went ahead and arrested him, and obviously they filed the charges and went forth with that, okay? I think on the last update I'd even mentioned where, and actually I'll show you right here, where under some of his paperwork or notes, you can see that on the last hearing he had, they found probable cause, which means that they can go forth with the charges, okay? Now, if you notice down here, on the 28th of last month of January, there was a request to issue summons. This was a document that was filed. And then on the 29th, there's something that says writ/summons pleading. So based on those notes, and again, I'm just alleging. I have a feeling that the prosecutor's office has went ahead and requested the court to summon Magic, which is Saint's girlfriend, on and off girlfriend, whatever they are currently right now, but obviously the alleged victim of these charges, of this case. And so even if she didn't want to, press these charges, if she shows up to court, which is what the summons is demanding she does, to testify, she's going to have to testify under oath, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, if she decides not to show up, they can fine her in contempt, because this is a summons. If it's signed by the judge, I can't say if it has been or not, but let's just assume if it was, that is a court order for her to be there. Meaning that if she doesn't, that judge, and they don't do it most of the time, but they could technically issue out a bench warrant for her arrest for contempt of court. Okay? So, shit can get serious here. It's definitely got serious on Saint's end. I don't care how he wants to spin it, and I'm not saying he has recently, but I know the last time he was live when he was kind of, talking about the case and kind of bringing me up and calling me out for putting misinformation, which was, the last time I went live and talked about his case, had pretty much, answered all his questions, pretty much was able to prove that everything he was calling me out on was false, okay? Yeah, okay, on his end, now that it's gone to the circuit court, Now that they're going to try the felony or charge him with the felony and they found the probable cause, it's on, man. And now, regardless if she wants to testify or not, as far as Magic, looks like they may have summoned her to court. Again, I can't verify that yet, but based on the notes here, it does look like they filed for a summons, and I would imagine that would be the only other individual. I mean, technically, maybe it could be for the neighbor if that's really how it went down, the neighbor that's allegedly called, but I have a feeling it's probably for the alleged victim of the case. All right. So, I'm just trying to think. Oh, I do have some other updates for you before everybody takes off. Let me tell you what we got going on as far as court dates coming up, because we do got quite a bit of them. Give me 1 second. Oh, and I also got a cool little video I want to share with you guys, too, before everybody heads out. It was a video I wanted to share with you guys last episode, but I couldn't find it. I found it. All right. So, what do we got coming up? So, let's see here. And I did put this in order, kind of. Yeah, I did. So, next, we're going to have the Trina Golden sentencing hearing coming up February 10th. Followed by the Sunset City 13 hearing, a.k.a. Marissa. That is on the 11th, February 11th. Then on February the 18th, don't forget, we've got Hampton Brandon is still finishing up his case. We've got out of Florida, more specifically Broward County. Good old Broward County. Then we've got Saint, who's got his first appearance now here in circuit court, coming up on February the 27th. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so already as of today, 4 more hearings for the rest of the month. And then, of course, that can change. You know, they can be rescheduled. There can be some more people get in trouble. Another hearing gets added on Raymond, first appearance, who knows. But as of right now, that's what we got going on for February. Then going into March, we start with Action Man, starting now that he's been indicted by a grand jury in the state of Texas. They're going to start that case, which is a felony case, a felony charge that he's facing. And that's going to be March 13th when he's got his appearance then. And then EBZ's got to be back in court on March 26th, whether that's going to be an in-person or he can do it remotely. I haven't verified that yet, but regardless, he's got a hearing on March 26th. And then we've got... Did I have anything in April? Yeah. And then we've got Charles Marlowe finishing up the charges he's facing currently. And that's for both cases. They've got everything set for the same date on both cases for April the 14th. Now, don't forget, between all those court dates, we may have a IRL trip coming up, possibly if we can reach the donation goal for California. And when we do our next episode, and even in between now and the next episode, I'm sure I'll be doing some type of other fun IRL stuff. I'll start explaining a little bit more. I'm going to start organizing the trip, starting to write stuff down, and that way I can present you guys with a better kind of like what they call like a business plan, and tell you exactly what I want to do and exactly how I want to do it and all that. Okay, but I'll plan that out sometime soon. We've definitely got fun stuff lined up here between now and our next episode or court update. We've got a lot of community posts that'll be coming up as soon as I find out and can verify what exactly happened with the Controlla court hearing this morning. Look out for that update. I may do something fun for Valentine's Day. I may do a fun, may let you guys follow me through a journey of seeing if I can secure a Valentine's Day date. And then go on this Valentine's Day date. Just something fun, nothing serious. Not looking for love or anything like that. Get married or anything like that. But just something fun to do for Valentine's Day. And then what else do I have coming up? I can't think of it. I had something else planned, but I can't remember. And either ways, it's always fun when I surprise you guys with the fun stuff. So just keep your eye out for that. Dress up like a, I'm going to be looking like a stud, okay? If we can secure a date, your boy's going to look, let's just put it this way. I've already been working on my hairstyle for the last month, which, how's it looking in the back? Let me show you guys. Yeah. Are we getting to mullet style now? Are we getting to a skullet yet? So, I'm not going to be rude and go on a date with a hat on. I don't work that way, Obviously, when I'm on a date, I'm going to not have a hat on. So, I'm going to be the way I look. I'm not going to try to catfish, this date or anything like that. They do not have legal escorts here in the state of New Mexico. They probably have illegal ones, but not legal. I was just thinking about putting an ad on, what's the one thing, the dating app that people use nowadays? Tinder or whatever the hell it is. And I'll just put it all out there, just fun guy looking with a skullet, looking for a fun date for Valentine's Day. Skullet looking for his skulletty. You know what I mean? How cool if I could find another date chick that has her own skullet going on. You know what I mean? I'm going to judge. Anyways, you guys are going to fuck it. It looks like we're having a lot of fun just by the way you guys are reacting in chat. But either way, we got a lot of fun stuff lined up for February. And like I said, with the ultimate goal of hopefully reaching this donation goal and then getting ready to set out for California. All right. With more details to come. That was it. I don't know if you guys been following the national news. A lot of stuff's been going on with these tariffs getting signed. A lot of stuff going on with the immigration bills, the border. Yesterday, if you guys caught the news, as a matter of fact, there was a big old protest that was on the, the 101? The big freeway in California, in Los Angeles, that had the whole 101 shut down, okay? If you can imagine what that did for traffic for a while. It got crazy. So where I'm going with all this is I don't know how the border in my area is looking at, which if you guys aren't aware, I live about a stone's throw away from the El Paso Juarez border. Juarez being, I think, the second or third biggest city in the country of Mexico and was definitely the most violent city during the whole drug cartel wars, that Juarez. And they do have a big immigration processing center there. So I would imagine there's probably stuff going on down there. But either way, I'm thinking about bringing you guys a boots on the ground coverage of what's going on as far as with the border issues straight off the border. And possibly I'd have to get my not passport because that would take too long. They call them a what do they call it? It's like your regular driver's license, but they put a little star on it. It's like a government ID now or something. But basically, you can use that to travel from Mexico and back and forth. You can use also a passport, but that would take a little bit too long for when I want to do this coverage. Now, technically, I legally could just walk into Mexico and walk back, but it would probably take a while for them to, verify that I'm a U.S. citizen without any proper documentation. But I'm thinking about doing that for sure, going down the border, depending on what the process is about getting my little government issue ID or whatever they call it. Real ID. There you go. It's called the Real ID, which for most of you, you're going to need by some date, I think, if you're going to be traveling a lot. Or I know for sure if you're going to be entering military bases, you have to have one. So we got that going on. I'm hoping to do the Baton Death March, which is a 26.2 mile marathon, run, march, walk, whatever you want to call it. It's considered almost one of the top 10 hardest marches in the country, in the world. If you look it up, Google search Baton Death March. Pretty cool event that they have here in my area. I've been doing it for a long time now. Haven't gone to it in a while. I took a little break, but definitely be fun to bring that to you guys live, assuming if I have data coverage there. If not, I got the GoPro and definitely can cover that as far as like a vlog type of stream, share that with you guys. But, obviously I try my best to bring that to you live. So got a couple of big events that I have planned. And then, like I said, with the ultimate goal of getting out to California sometime in the next month or two and bringing you guys the coverage that I was talking about earlier once we get there and more. So, does NJ stand for New Jersey? It does. Long story, I'm not from New Jersey, not born there, don't live there, been there. As a matter of fact, they covered my first live case from New Jersey. And is a reason. The channel started with the name New Jersey Courts. There's a little bit of story behind that. It has to do with Ski Mask Andy and when he was living in New Jersey. But I haven't changed it since then and probably never will. So, but no, I have no ties with the state of New Jersey other than I've been a guest there and visited the state. Let's see. Just trying to browse through some of these other questions and see if I missed anything. And again, if I did, and I can't catch it, if it's something you just got to get to me and I didn't catch it in chat, because like I said, I'm not the best. And let's just put it this way. Come on now. I'm trying to report on the news, so I'm trying to read something on my screen, so it's kind of hard. Like I said, you can almost have to be cross-eyed to do that and read the chat and then stare at the camera. So I try my best to do like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So hopefully I'm improving on that. But if there's something you ultimately got to get to me, whether it's a question, comment, or complaint, don't forget, you can reach out to me, email, Instagram. And then, of course, you can leave a comment here on this VOD. And most likely, because if you check out my other VODs, I generally will answer back to you. At the very minimum, I'll read it. If I don't need to answer, then I won't. But if I have a reply, I'll definitely let you know. So, yeah, if there's anything you have questions on, if there's anything that you want to see as far as coverage, I'm always open to suggestions. As a matter of fact, I would say probably about minimum 50-50. I would probably say it's closer to 75-25. I get 75%. Let's just say 50. No, I want to say it's closer to 75. 75% of the stories that I cover are from your guys' request, with 25 just being stuff that I feel, is stuff that you'd be interested in or that I think is something that I would want to cover. So please keep that in mind. Reach out to me if you have something you think would be interesting. I know there's a lot of people that are getting in trouble right now. I know I know about, Japan and ICE and all the shit going on there, but it's just a little bit harder to try to follow, especially having to do with the court stuff, accessing court documents and stuff in another country. So that's why, if you're ever wondering why I don't cover a lot of that shit that happens to those streamers in those other countries, is why. Because again, I like to go off of receipts, verifiable proof and information. You have to when you do actual real media news, okay? Otherwise, it's slandering or defamation. I can have an opinion. Don't forget that, okay? And that's why I think a lot of people like the news from here, because it isn't like your typical, CNN news where basically I got to follow a script that is the same script 5 other news stations are going off of, that's written by the main script writer for all 100 news stations that are owned by the company, media company, okay? Obviously, those people probably want to say something but can't. I can, because it's my channel. But for the most part, I think you guys agree with what a lot of saying. And again, please keep in mind, I want everybody's opinions. I welcome everybody's comments. Now, if it's something that breaks TOS, absolutely something that's just offensive and has nothing to do with what we're talking about, yeah, you'll probably get timed out or booted out. But for the most part, you guys know all comments are welcome, and I've let you guys talk shit about me plenty of times, for even the haters that like to hang out and chat every once in a while. So, NJ Courts, buddy, what up? Yeehaw's return. But yeah, let me, before I end the stream, I'm going to play this clip for you. So let me get that pulled up here. And then I'm going to just browse up on the chat and see if there's anything else that I may have missed as far as questions. Oh, yeah, the plane stuff's been horrible, man. Golly, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the very next day after the big, airliner that wrecked with the Black Hawk, there was a small jet, one of those med jets, that had 6 passengers on it, pilot, co-pilot, doctor on board, a nurse or paramedic, and a mother and a child, which was the individual that was being flown from one hospital to another airport, and then they were going to be flying from the United States, or I think state of Missouri, to Tijuana, Mexico, which is where this patient was from. And it was I guess like just a few minutes after takeoff, the plane ended up just wrecking into a pretty populated area. And thank God, I don't think as of right now there was any casualties from the plane landing and hitting anybody or buildings. But the 6 people on board from that plane all perished and were casualties. In addition to, unfortunately, the commercial airliner and the soldiers that were on the Black Hawk, all casualties. So just horrible news this last week, man. So I hope we can get some just positive stuff going on for the start of this month. Of course, who's to see what's going to happen with our economics? I'm just one of these people that just likes to sit back, do my own research, and go off that. Even though I consider myself a member of media, I almost hate and I'm almost an opponent of your mainstream media, which I feel is blowing a lot of stories out of context. And again, I'm a pretty neutral person. I don't pick sides. I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican. I'm what I call a patriot. All right? I just give a fuck about my country, my fellow countrymen. That's about it. My family, my dogs. But yeah, it's just been a horrible end of January and a start to February. And like the people on that commercial plane, it doesn't matter which plane, and casualty is horrible. Casualty is a casualty, but just really sad. A lot of the, I don't know if you're aware, but the majority of the people that were flying on that plane, the airliner, were youth that were coming back from some type of competition, ice skating competition. So a lot of good kids, a lot of kids that had goals and probably were going to be, Olympic athletes, future Olympic athletes, and their parents and family. I mean, you had literally one family of 4 that perished on that plane. So could you imagine, seeing this family 1 month, a fucking whole family, mother, dad, father, and 2 children. And then just like that family's disappeared. It's crazy. And that's why I always tell people, man, I can't understand why you see this hate in these people that do what they do. And when these people tell me, why do you talk about ski mask and you talk, I can't stand these people. That's why I talk about them. I want people to understand the toxicity that exists in our world, that so people can make better decisions and choices on how they navigate through this dangerous world now. Okay. And is why I do what I do. All right. And you don't even understand how it gets to me when I hear about tragedies like this. And then the very same day or next day, I see these bozos like Ski Mask and all these other fuckheads coming on. And, oh, hey guys, I need $5 because I can't eat today. When you got a whole family that just got fucking wiped out and you want to cry like a little bitch, a 40-year-old man, because you ran out of weed today. That's the shit that just bothers me. And like I said, I hope this month just turns around, and I hope there's a lot better news. Maybe we can end one of these wars going on in the world. But either way, I hope at least you guys can have a good rest of your February. Please stay safe out there. Stay vigilant. And as I always say, keep your head on a swivel. Check that 6 every once in a while. And most importantly, especially now, man, because we need it the most. Take some time to love somebody. I always say even if it's yourself, but I think we've had enough time to love ourselves already. Take some time this month, because we need it, especially this month, to spread some of that love to others. All right? But with that being said, I'm going to wrap up today's stream. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new audio. I've got some other little bits of equipment coming that hopefully will start to continue to improve the stream quality even more and more and more. With the ultimate goal of just being so badass, there's just nothing else I can do to improve the quality of my stream. But I always feel nobody's perfect, and there's always room for improvement. So I doubt we'll ever get to that. And plus, I'm always scuffed in some way, so nothing will be perfect. All right, my friends. Oh, with that being said, I want to segue really quick in that little clip I wanted to play. Hold on, let me just get it up here really quick. It's just a little 1-minute clip. It's a fun clip. Nothing serious. This clip, to give you a little backstory, is when we were ending our last broadcast or episode, somehow we were got into talking about jumping spiders, because I don't know if you guys noticed, because I could today. Last episode, I think Pinto was molting, so at the time I had to leave him in the room, his spider room. But I got Pinto out today for today's episode. He's hanging out with me back there. Oh, you guys missed it. That's what it was, is I forgot. It was one of my fun live streams I did just a few days ago. I think it was on Friday. And if you didn't catch it, I highly recommend you do. I got to introduce you to Pinto. I know you guys met him through the enclosure, which you can't see very well, but I actually got to take Pinto out, and I had him hanging out on me, on my hand. He's crawling all over me. Anyways, check it out if you didn't. But I was finally able to bring Pinto out for the episode, so he's been hanging out behind me. But where I'm going with this is, as we were talking about spiders, I had mentioned that I was maybe interested in getting a tarantula, or how cool the tarantula enclosures are, because there's this one guy, and this is the guy, this is his page. This is the guy I was looking for to show you last episode, and I couldn't find it. There's a guy that makes these tarantula enclosures, and he makes them specifically to work with kind of the theme of the enclosure. So, for example, he got like an enclosure that's a Alien the Movies themed enclosure, where he's got, the big ugly scary alien with its mouth open, and it's got all that like saliva and dribbling, all that shit. Well, what he does then is he makes the alien in the enclosure, but to kind of recreate the effect of like that saliva all dripping, the tarantula will actually make a really sick webbing through it, and it gives it that look. It's really cool, and he does this with all sorts of different themes. All right, so you'll see that here in a second. That's what I wanted to share with you guys, because it's just too hard to explain. You got to see it with your own eyes. But I do want to say something. I've got a special announcement, and I'm not going to say it all today, because I don't think the person that gifted it to me is here, and I would rather prefer that they are, when I, to shout them out. But Pinto has got a little girlfriend that's going to be on her way soon for Valentine's Day. A very close friend and a very good friend of mine, and a very good friend of the channel, a lot of you know who they are, has gifted Pinto, and myself, I guess you can say, but it was for Pinto, a little girlfriend, a little female jumping spider for Valentine's Day. Now, remember, jumping spiders can't be in the same enclosure. As a matter of fact, as cute as they are and as fun as it would be to have both of them playing together and crawling on me, they technically don't get along with other jumping spiders. So they'll still have to be separated, but for the most part, they're going to be right next to each other. They do communicate with each other when they're in their enclosures. They can see each other, and they do these little taps and little bumpies and all this stuff. So, yeah. I'm very looking forward to introducing you guys to Pinto's new girlfriend, and I've already given her a name. We've named her Pepita. For some, you guys know Chick-fil-A, right? If you've ever gotten one of the Southwest chicken salad they have at Chick-fil-A, you can have they have the little pepitas that you can put on. They're just little tortilla chips, little tortilla crisps. Well, no, sorry, those are the tortilla crisps. The pepitas are a pumpkin seed in Spanish. So because she looks like a pumpkin seed, and because it goes with the pinto, which is Spanish for pinto bean, her name is Pepita. Pinto and Pepita, the double P's. Anyways, let me share this video with you, because this is, like I said, this is the one I was trying to share with you last episode, and I just couldn't find it. But this is the clip from Instagram, the guy's Instagram that makes these tarantula enclosures, which are badass. I don't think I'm ready for I don't think I can handle a tarantula just yet, but definitely is on my radar. I would probably never thought I would ever say anything like that in my whole life, but I am definitely getting into spiders a lot more, and these jumping spiders are just such the great little spider to introduce you into the world of arachnids, as they say. All right, here we go. I found it. Oh, they definitely do recognize your one. Here, let me start. Okay, there's the aliens one. Let me see if I can zoom into the actual video. No, that's not going to work. I got to go through here. I don't know if you guys can see it, because I unfortunately I had this uploaded, so I can't zoom in. But if you'll see these, if you look kind of closely to these enclosures, you'll see what I mean about how they take the theme and then work it with the spider making the webbing. But yes, Grunt Truck, to answer your question, jumping spiders are very intelligent, and they can recognize you. Absolutely. Goonies, see the Goonies one? These are some top ones. He does a lot of horror. Hellraiser. I think what he's sick is one of my favorites. I can say the whole.
Die Sonne scheint mir aus den Händen.
there's kind of like a pagan, what do they call those? A pagan devil worshipping one. But I think a Gremlins one would be sick. Brazilian wandering spiders. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Interesting.
Wenn sie aus den Fäusten bricht, nicht sie Eis auf das Gesicht. Sie wird heute Nacht nicht untergehen.
Rob Zombie movie there. Back to the Future. Oh, that's dope. Look at the Back to the Future with the clock and everything.
Zähl laut bis 10.
What's that one? Oh, that's the guy with the chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So yeah, they get really creative with these enclosures they make for these spiders. I mean, to be honest with you, the enclosure almost just as fun as, you know, having the spider as a pet, just collecting all the cool enclosures. But let's see if Pinto will come out and say hi to you guys before I end the stream really quick. And on a fun note. Oh, and just as a little suggestion to you guys, if any of you all, let me take this off of here. There we go. If any of you guys are interested in a pair of wired headphones, right now Walmart's got the Sonys. I forgot which brand they are, the model number. They're as basic as you get, but they're regularly like $19, pretty much $20. They're generally a little bit more, you know, especially if you order them from like Sony.com. But right now, Walmart's got them on sale for $9.99. Just call it $10. And I will speak on behalf of these. I've been testing them out just here on my broadcast. I just wanted a simple set of headphones because I can't do the earbuds. They hurt my ears, especially when I'm doing like a 2-hour broadcast, you know, and they just don't fit my ear well. So I like the over-the-ear setup. So I just wanted a cheap over-the-ear setup that I could use for the broadcast. I wasn't concerned with sound quality. But I picked up these Sonys because they were $10. They were literally the cheapest. They were even cheaper than like the Walmart brand wired headphones. And they're amazing. Not only they work great for the broadcast, but with an adapter, you got to have the little adapter because it's got the same tip that you put in for a 3.5 millimeter jack, which, you know, your old smartphones used to always come with a 3.5 millimeter jack. Now they don't, right? All your smartphones just come with the US or USB-C jack. You just got to get a little adapter that you plug in, goes USB-C to the 3.5 millimeter jack, which I have. And so I've been listening to music on my phone with these headphones. Fuck, for $10, they work great. And obviously for $10, if these get damaged, lost, it's not going to be the end of the world. You know, it's not like a $200 pair of Beats or Sonys. So if you need a wired pair of headphones, I highly suggest these Sony wired headphones. They even fold in, watch. That's about it. They just fold in about like this for carrying purposes. But yeah, real nice for $10. I'll tell you that. All right, so already went over cases that we got coming up. Already went over the fun stuff. Already told you guys about why I'm e-bagging for this month. We already covered all the shout-outs we had for people that were celebrating anniversaries today. And again, thank you and big shout-out to all the members of the jury. I am very thankful to starting off 2025 with you guys on board as members of the jury and value your support greatly and appreciate it and thank you. Let's see. Shared the little clip I want to share with you from last time I missed. And who do we say we have next coming up very soon as far as court? Oh, I owe you an update on Controlla. So let's check the website just to see before I let you guys go if they've updated anything. Because like I said, we've heard two things. We've heard that she got probation for 2 years and she had to plead guilty on all 4 charges. And then we've heard that all 4 charges were dismissed. So we shall find out as soon as they update that website. And once they do, I will take a screenshot of it and I will post it as a community or a post now tab. But as far as next court update, we'll probably have one once we have a few court hearings to go over. And let's see. So our next one we said is going to be Trina. Oh yeah, that's going to be a big one. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely going to have a good broadcast coming up on the 10th for the Trina sentencing hearing. I'll probably have something either the night before where we'll do like a kind of like a case study type of deal where we'll just start from the beginning. You know, I might even just show every single hearing that I was able to record, which was just one. And then, you know, we can go over notes, like put just something together, kind of like a timeline for those of that just kind of forgot how this all happened and started with Trina, to, you know, how we found herself now sitting in front of a judge being sentenced, you know, for those 3 charges that she was found guilty by members of the jury. Okay. So we're definitely going to have either something the night before. If we don't, for sure on the day of, we're going to do something. And then, of course, we'll have an update as soon as we find out what she was sentenced with. So case review. There you go. I like that better than case study. I may also, I doubt it. I'm going to say, I'm just going to be realistic because I've already dealt with this judge a few times. But I still will. All they can say is no or yes. But I will try and see if they would approve. One, I don't know if it's going to be available to watch remotely. It may not. Some of the hearings were, some of them weren't. Let's just say that it was going to be available remotely. I will ask and see if I'm able to, one, watch. If I can remotely, I will ask if I can record, which she might say no. But let's just assume she just says I can sit in and watch at the very least. I'm cool with that. So at least as soon as it's done, I can jump on here, start a stream up, and tell you exactly what happened from my notes as far as the sentencing hearing. And then we don't have to wait for the update to come up or populate, which sometimes can take 24 hours on the website. So I will look into that. But again, that would only work if it's going to be remotely, and then 2, if the judge approves it. So, but I got to do that today because it's going to be next Monday. So yeah, that'll be unless something comes up or something changes, I would probably shoot for next Monday as our next big court coverage broadcast, or episode number 6 for the year. Did you see what Saint did 19 minutes ago, bro? He was screaming your name and staple gun himself in the face 4 times. He's live right now, bleeding from... Let's see. That's insane if he is. Let me jump over here. Let's see. Oh, wait, and I got to see, too. I was going to try to give away some memberships. I didn't even see if I was able to. I was checking on that, and then I got distracted. Let's see if I can find him on the tubes. I don't know why he's so fascinated with me. All I'm doing is just covering his court case. Jeez Louise. But nothing new. A lot of these individuals we cover just don't have anything else to talk about, and they get a little bit of some coverage from a channel like us, and it's like, that's it. That's all they can speak about, you know. Oh, it looks like One Sonic's even in his chat. All right, let me share this with you guys. I can't hear any audio.
Gotta drive all the way to Benny Blanca. That's way more farther than Hagerstown from where you live, pussy. Maybe the real reason you wanted to stream with Benny Blanca is because you're both fags.
And if you want to watch him, you can go on his channel.
We could all tell by how you couldn't raise new women at the Comic-Con, dude. For 2 reasons.
Just imagine
never talked to women in your life, both of you. Number 2,
NJCOURTS doesn't know
you're
anything
gonna fuck each other's ass at the end of the night.
I'm not getting a fuck.
So there's like extra credentials for you to not actually
but
get
I gotta
fucking
figure out
laid.
why I
told these
hear
assholes, I said,
his
go to
audio.
the
I can
south
rewind
side.
it, though. Hold
I'm
on.
from Pittsburgh, racial slurs. They're not from Pittsburgh. Benny is from Monessen, which is 40 minutes outside of Pittsburgh Trailer Park. And give you
The right thing.
Oh, he hasn't yet. I can tell by his face.
goddamn shit. Guess what, Jack? Check this out.
Oh, that's because I muted
Go
the audio.
into the app, especially if it's DoorDash. Well, who cares? Learned how to smoke. Conceptualize and like that like scuffed your Spencer. You gotta hit a human being, right? It's fucking. He's one of the most important So RSO. Who has ever just what would offshore? You're insane! Dude, I'm not eating this, dude.
All right, let me keep going forward. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the audio, and I got it on like two screens. So hold on, let me get the audio figured out, and then we'll rewind. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing this. All right, so I'm gonna take. Okay, this is the one I gotta take off. All right. Here we go.
So like fucking.
Oh, here it is. I think.
I ain't some. My charges aren't beating up my parents, dude.
Oh, he's
tell
comparing
him to
himself
go
to
back
Ski
through
Mask.
my charges, dude.
We already looked
With this
at your
fucking
charges.
Freedom of Information Act, fucking dick sucking mouth.
All they got to do is just literally Google your name,
because with the right
and there's
version,
two
this-
news articles that tell everybody about your charges.
Fucking what? Blink.
Oh, here it is.
Homosexual with a pedophile mustache.
Now everybody with mustaches are pedos.
He's the nerd who used to watch me in the corner of the room. New Jersey Courts is the fucking geek who used to watch me.
Bro, you were one.
all
Actually,
through high
I don't
school,
even think you were a
college,
drama
my
weirdo.
adult life.
I don't even think you went to
Fucking
school.
wishing they were me, dude.
Hold on. Before we get to the good part, the one thing I want to address with this guy, and this is going to be the only thing, we're just going to get to the part to see. Here's the thing I think is funny. This person you hear in the background, which is this girlfriend of his, Magic, the one that's the victim of all these charges he's facing. I think it's funny because you hear in the background kind of like, antagonizing him, pretty much not antagonizing him, but what is the word I'm trying to think here. Pretty much is like pumping him up, you know what I mean? About like, oh, did you hear? She's like, NJ Court said this in her little accent. But what's funny is I remember the video that we were sharing, the one where she was intoxicated and just acting a complete fool. And in that video, you can hear her clearly telling Saint that he, one, is not allowed to be in the same household as hers, whether that's true or not. I don't know what the conditions of his bond or release is. But let's just put it this way. Don't you think it'd be common sense that a judge is going to put some type of condition on your release that you're not to be in the vicinity or same home or a certain amount of feet or yards from the victim, regardless of what the victim thinks or, wants done? It's a liability thing. The judge don't give a shit what Magic thinks or wants. The judge does it as a liability thing, okay? So one, I think it's funny that this guy, assuming that he's not supposed to be next to this victim, is talking trash as he's breaking the conditions of his release, if that's the case. But what I think is funnier is this is the same guy that still, as much as he's trying to spin this around, is still going to be facing 4 charges, including a felony. What was the date we said? February 27th. So again, I don't care what these people, I don't care, the outcome of Saint's result, sentencing or his hearing. I'm just here to report on it. I personally don't give a shit what happens with this guy, but all I can say is regardless of what he thinks of me, I'm not the one that's facing a judge this month. You are, buddy. All right. Anyways, let's feeding him. I like that one. Thank you, Sicilian Princess. All right, so let's see. I think he's about to staple himself. I mean, come on. Let's just put it this way. It's Monday at what, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon where he's at, and the guy's in a bathrobe, obviously not working. I don't know if he's intoxicated or not. I would assume if he's going to be stapling himself. But yet this guy is the one with sense, right? Talking sense, and I'm just a complete idiot, according to him. Okay. All right, buddy. Here we go. Oh, that's not that tough.
Hey, New Jersey courts. Don't make me come to Texas.
Texas. I'm not even going to reply to that, dude.
Be the strangler from coast to coast. Any thug into a ghost. Fight. Step your ass back for the hatchet attack.
That was it?
Hacks from the yachts. On my toes and thumbs.
So I've got a guy that thinks he's we've got what is the guy? He thinks he's a Mason, okay? You're so full of shit, bro. If anybody even knows anything about the Masons, they would never allow a guy like this into an exclusive and just such a prestige organization like that, okay? Second, all right, if this was it, if stapling a little stapler to your cheek is supposed to make you look tough, damn, man, this is sad, man. And this is what I'm talking about. This is a grown man in our terms, right? Anybody over the age of 18 is considered a man, okay? This guy is not 18. This guy is, what, 40 or something like that, close to being 40? And this is it. This is it. This is his life. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? And the crazy thing is when we first started covering people like this, we would always we would always be like, this can't, they'll change. I mean, this guy's going to be doing this till he's, 60. Well, then we started covering Jimmy the Hobo, not Jimmy the Hobo. Jimmy the Hobo, right? Literally a 60-year-old version of Ski Mask, 60-year-old version of Saint, And that's the scary thing is these people, as much as we sit here and think, there's no way this guy will eventually change. He's not going to keep doing. Dude, 44, there you go, even worse. So 44 going on 50. So what, 6 more years this guy will be able to get a senior coffee at fucking McDonald's? And this is what our world's having to deal with now? Jesus Christ, man. I feel bad for the kids. I mean, it's their own fault, okay? But for those younger generations before us, for those ones that are actually like real good fucking kids, that are actually trying to do something good for themselves, I feel fucking bad for them because, man, dude, the generation of me that has guys like him popping out, the generation before me that's got like more people like him popping out, and then how it gets progressively worse and worse and worse. Our world's fucked, man. That's why I can't wait to just go out to my little 10 acres with my dogs and be left the fuck alone. All right, y'all. I guess that was a nice little surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I was just going to end on my little video I had with the little tarantulas. So thank you for, was that AOL Smarter Child that shared that info with us? So that was a good little laugh for the afternoon. Definitely needed that. Yeah, you know what, Saint? I'll take that back. You're not actually a bad guy because you're actually putting some laughs and smiles to some of us in the world today, and we need a little bit more of that, so I'll give you that, man. All right, y'all. Jesus, I don't even know how that guy could actually think I take that serious. I mean, that's why I'm like, bro, this has to be scripted, right? This is for content. They do this for a few dollars, right? Like, I can't believe that that's what a 44-year-old man is actually really doing right now on a Monday afternoon. But I don't know, man. I honestly think that really is what's happening. Is that's not scripted, and that really is what a 44-year-old man is doing on a Monday afternoon. All right, you guys. Anyways, no, that was a funny way. Thank you again for sharing that. Definitely a good way. Oh, don't even get me started on Benny Blanco, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's stream, thank you, ICU, for reminding me. Definitely hit that like button for me on your way out. I would definitely appreciate that very mucho. Mucho Mundo. Oh, I was going to introduce you guys really quick or say hi, say bye with you guys with the Pinto. Let me see if he's rolling around.
Saint, I'm gonna swallow a jumping spider just to show you how tough I am. I bet you were in high school, you were one of those kids that used to eat glue and sniff the paper, copy paper, because the way the ink smelled. I did.
Yeah, right. I would never eat my spider. I love my little jumping spider. Nah, he's just chilling. You can tell when he wants to come out. He'll come up over here, or he's more active. He's just napping. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you guys a little good view of him in the corner. No, it's going to be hard. He's kind of, you can kind of see him there. He's kind of hiding behind his little bush, but, oh yeah, he's hiding good. That's probably about the best view you're going to get of him right there. But you can definitely catch our last VOD and see plenty of Pinto hanging out with me. It's a really cool VOD, man. Especially if you're considering getting you a jumping spider, check it out. I bet you it'll make you want to get one for sure. All right, Pinto. Hang in there, buddy. You got a little girlfriend coming here next week. Bow chicka bow bow. Not just kidding. All right, you guys, take care. As always, I love you all. Again, please take some time to spread some of that love around. We need a lot of it. We need some positivity this month. I will see you on the next court update or just fun IRL stream, whichever one comes first. Take it easy. Don't say I didn't give you a warning. You better take those ear pods out or lower the volume. Squishy Socks, you are so welcome. Because NJ Courts, and thank you. Actually, before I go one, I want to say thank you again for all the members of the jury that celebrate anniversaries today. Again, thank you for everybody's support, whether you're a member of the jury. Thank you to all my mods for all your help. Thank you to everybody just here, viewers, if you chatters, if you just listen. Again, I appreciate everybody being here today. I will catch you on the next one. NJ Courts is officially out of here, ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon and go Chiefs!